we've been talking about, just some of the activities. What's something that, you might be excited about sharing at this retreat?
I'll be making pancakes.
You'll be making pancakes.
The
Yes,
healthy
yes.
kind.
Yeah, that's right, Jerry. We'll be making pancakes while I'm teaching yoga. You'll be cooking breakfast. That's true. That's true.
Well, I think what I bring to it is, and Bruce and I have been walking these paths of spirituality and shamanism, and so I believe that ritual opens emotional and physical doors. It allows people to access parts of themselves that just traditional verbal communication does not always access. And so we definitely will end up doing a sweat lodge. And I think we have some other ritual and approaches to just allowing us to gather and to open up those spaces of vulnerability and sharing that will come through that technique.
Right. And I think what comes from that overall, even if you've never done a sweat lodge before or you're never going to do one ever again, it offers people the opportunity to, it just gives people something to talk about. Because you've had this experience together, right?
Share it, right.
And then outside of the lodge, they have something in common now.
Well, remember the fire ritual we did last 2 times?
Yeah.
And
one of my favorites.
Right, the invitation was to spend some time contemplating what we were releasing to the fire.
Yeah.
And it sounded incredibly simple, and yet I think every man who went to the fire had this profound awareness that was as equal to what they had in the lodge.
Right, yeah.
And John, what are you going to be doing at the retreat?
Well, like I mentioned, I teach yoga, and it's the same kind of thing, where if you've never done yoga before, that doesn't matter. We're just going to have the experience of getting on the yoga mat and just what it feels like in your body. It's another way of connecting to yourself. So I think that's a huge piece too, just connecting to yourself a little bit more, physically, even emotionally, even a little spiritually, and I think that can even be helpful in if you're connecting with yourself, it helps then to connect with others.
For sure.
Well, I've been in some of your power classes, and I think what's always impressed me about the retreat is you are incredibly conscious about taking people. I almost think of it as a movement meditation. Like I know there's a physical piece to it, but it feels like a meditation and movement.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a moving meditation.
Yeah, and I've seen people in their 70s work out with you as well as all age ranges.
Yeah,
and so I love how you approach that with people.
Because my intention for many years now has been to try to invite more men to the yoga mat, just to experience it, because it is very intimidating. It can be intimidating, so I try to, wipe away some of those myths around yoga, and really tap into, certainly the benefits of yoga and how it can affect and perhaps guide you, help you personally, even if it's just a little piece of that. Here's the breathing. Ooh, I like the breath part. Ooh, I like the moving part. Oh, I like, the meditation part of it.
Yeah. And then Nick is joining us this year.
Yeah, excited to. It's kind of similar to where John's at with what he's proposing. It's something physical. It's something that we're going to come together and do together. I have experience with teaching small group fitness, and I've seen the power of what you can do for an individual in a small group setting. When you come together and we're all dealing with kind of the same challenge, we're seeing others struggle with it. Oh, I struggle with it too. I don't feel so embarrassed anymore about struggling with it. Having fun with it while we're accomplishing something together as a team. Team sport is something that, I helped start a rugby team in Boston, and talk about, a terrifying sport. It's aggressive. It's incredibly aggressive. There's no padding. There's no nothing. But what there is camaraderie. There's always, at the end, you always meet up with the other team and you go to, it's a bar, but you always come together, and there's always, some type of celebration. And I find that in the fitness that I can coach with people in groups, that I can facilitate that same thing. It's a challenge that we share together. It helps to, just like in a ritual sense, it kind of helps to open up the individual to other people when we're working on this silly shit together, throwing balls, whatever it may be. Yeah. And then it really, I've seen it with the small groups that I've taught, much like what you're saying, like you've hosted these community events and you know these people are still actively friends today. I was teaching these small groups of these people that didn't know each other until then, and then they're off going on hikes together. They formed community. Yeah. And so I that's something that I'm excited to bring about too, is to further kind of bring some physical element to it, because of course the movement and the activity is important for our physical bodies so that we can, be these healthy, happy people in the world, but then it also brings us together with others. And so our goals are kind of common, and I think it's a great way to build friendships.